Jets fans, we need to vent. We need to sound off. We need to lose our minds a little bit. We need to get a little nuts. We need to do it in a good, constructive way. We've seen a lot all over Twitter. We've seen a lot all over social media. It's ugly out there. It's really, really ugly in Jets land today. So stick around. I got a guest joining me momentarily, and we're going to get through this together like we always do. We'll be right back.
This is producer JR, and you are watching the proud New York Jets fan show. Now give it up for my boy Nick.
Rodgers is a fucking Jet. Let's go!
This for my special delivery. Spit like this, get my wrist all glittery.
Can't wait.
Get kicked, snakes get slithery. Lean in, show y'all the mean and the chivalry.
Let's make sure we play like the New York Jets.
Right jab like Zab Judah. Every member on my team is a shooter. Tight like a womb, no room for intruders. Spark, twist to the Philly.
Give it up.
Good humor. Don't be silly. It's gravy, baby. I got it all smothered.
Let's go
Like
eat a
makeup.
damn snack.
Hey guys, I'm here. I'm ready to vent. I'm not going to vent alone. I'm going to bring in Mr. Recliner himself. If you look carefully, you will see him. He spent so much time in his chair today in depression, he's actually starting to blend in. Hello, Chaos.
No.
Hello, Durbin.
No.
Yeah, I set up from my phone, and I guess in the StreamYard, there's two NY Jets fans, and I set up one, and I couldn't go live from it. So I had to go on the computer to one I normally set it up with, whatever. That's why there's two pending. What's up, everybody? It's a rough day. It's a rough time.
Rough day.
We're playing out. What's up, Billy? Thanks for joining us.
Been a rough century.
Yeah. You know me. I always look for the positives, right? Even I'm having a difficult time. Like, the only positive I could think of, thank God Rodgers got hurt early. Not that he got hurt, but when he got hurt early. So we keep the number one pick because it looks like we're going to be in a position to add a massive offensive lineman, a massive weapon, trade back, or take a quarterback for the future and let him sit behind Rodgers for a bit. So it's going to be interesting what we do. So let's get into it. Matthias, Hank, Billy, thanks for joining. How you feeling, man? I just saw your video this morning. I watched it. I woke up. Yeah, Hank asked a good question. Is it mock draft time?
I was actually going to do a mock draft pretty soon. Yeah, look, I mean,
There's not a better website for us to use than the one that we have used. I think it's better.
yeah, I mean, they're all, it's all about interface, but then the rankings are bad and PFN. It's hard to decide, but there was a lot of anger, obviously, watching the game. It was like, I'm tired of feeling that way, tired of feeling humiliated, just tired of it. And I realized, like, I can't protect him anymore, defend Joe Douglas anymore. The fact that Boyle has been the backup quarterback since the first week of the season, and we're in November, at the end of November, it's absolutely a GM failure. It's completely unacceptable. If you missed on, first of all, he didn't act fast enough. Then he brings in Trevor Siemian, and then obviously they couldn't decide that he wasn't the right guy because if that guy, after they're saying, oh, Boyle knows the offense better. If you hear, he's been here 2 months now. It's been 2 months. If you can't be better than Boyle in 2 months, then you're garbage. And we could have brought in Carl Wentz, and I know a lot of people say Josh Dobbs. Nobody saw that coming, but still, maybe they should have. The Vikings were able to be smart enough to pick up on it and get him. So then there's the argument of go back to the offseason when we could have gotten Jacoby Brissett or, you know, any of these guys. But like, we did nothing to protect a situation of what if Aaron Rodgers gets injured, and then when he did get injured, we still didn't do anything, and now here we are forced to start Boyle. And we may have been able to, if we had a competent backup quarterback from the beginning, or even right after Rodgers got hurt, if we had Carl Wentz, we might still be in it. Because I'm not saying Carl Wentz is a great quarterback, but he's a lot better than Zach Wilson, and he's a lot better than Boyle. And he might be good enough that we could have been competitive.
You know why I'm smiling, right?
Why?
Because you said his name wrong, but I will never correct you with the wrong name as long as I live.
Oh, not Carl Wentz.
No, it's Carl Wentz for the rest of his life.
He should be a Carl. He should be a Carl.
He should be a Carl. He plays like a Carl. Carson. Yeah, Matthias, it's Carson. But
Carson.
Matthias, we never correct Jeremy when he incorrect. He said Trevor Seaman 4 straight times one day in the show, and I didn't say a word. I just sat there with a grin on my face. So it all stemmed from that. All right. I'll counter your point first.
I just want to move to Central Florida, buy $100,000 house with a swimming pool, and sit on a recliner like this and just freaking eat as much food as we can. Like that.
Nice. Good luck to you. I'll counter that point. I'll be honest with you. I don't think any quarterback makes a difference with how many injuries we've had to this line. It's unprecedented. 2 years in a row. We're 6 guys deep at right guard now. We're 6 guys deep at right tackle. That's unheard of. You know, you look at teams like who have the top offensive lines, they're always healthy. How do we, even at our best, we're an average line. We thought we may have cracked the top 10 if everyone stayed healthy, right? We're missing 4 guys from opening day. Tomlinson is the only one remaining. Becton's got a high ankle sprain now. He's not going to play for a while. That size, that weight, that's not a 3-week injury for somebody like that. He's going to have to get back into game shape after staying off his ankle for 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
The way he healed or didn't heal with his first knee injury, I think Becton's done for the season. I know he'll want to push and get back. I'm having a hard time seeing it. High ankle sprains can be 4 to 6 weeks, and then you're talking about amping them back up. There's only 8 games left. We're going to amp them up for the last 2 games, which would be meaningless.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, I'm really tired of like guys like Modine who promise us every year that everything's going to be great and constantly homer the team, say how awesome our quarterback is, how awesome everything is. Modine, you're wrong every year. They're not good, Modine. They're not making the playoffs. Everything you said is false. Zach Wilson is a bust. He's not a superstar like you said, Modine.
Modine has had a lot of awful takes. He hasn't been right about one. Yeah, guys. It's I'm gonna try to get through the chat here before we go off on our tangents. Thanks for joining us. I know it's a rough day. It's been a rough life being a Jet fan, but I'm glad we're all united and we've all become friends over this. Yeah, it's rough. Every year I look forward to this draft. I know, Matthias. I thought this year we wouldn't be doing mocks until late January or February, and here we are the week of Thanksgiving, and we're getting into mock draft mode. It sucks, man. Yeah, at least short term we have our QB. We don't know if it's a year or 2. And I'll be honest, man, the toxicity of Jets fans on the internet can sour this for Rodgers very quickly. He's in tune with what's going on and what's being said, and if it gets so bad, he might be like, why would I want to be a part of this? As great as things were when we all were in love with him playing, it can really sour very quickly. Yeah, no, I mean, this year with Rodgers going down, I think the coach and the GM get a pass. I don't think we're going to see anyone get fired. I don't. I think Hackett may get play calling stripped away from him. You know, I did a short today saying that call's got to be made. You got to call Rodgers and be like, listen, we're going to make a move with this. Just want you to know ahead of time. You give him a courtesy call because it is his guy.
Yeah.
I don't think you fired Joe Douglas because you couldn't get out of the Zach contract and have all that dead money this year. The plan was not for Zach to play. Unfortunately, that got blown to shit 4 plays in. So it sucks. It really, really sucks. Yeah, there you go, Hank. It sucks. You know, something I'm going to do, something I'm going to focus on in the offseason, reeling in expectations. I don't care who we get. I don't care if we trade for Devontae. I don't care. It means nothing if we can't get 5 linemen to stay healthy. We start losing guys for the year in the month of September, it's going to go to shit again. Because this is a league where if you have a line, you have a chance. You know, you can have the quarterback, but if you can't protect him. Well, Mo, I need you to answer this question for me, buddy, and I'm being dead serious. What type of golf balls? He says the Jets are being sold for a bag of golf balls. I need to know, what are we talking about here? What's the brand of golf ball?
Not title.
You're on the phone, so I'll do better reading the comments so you know what's going on too and what I'm addressing. I'm sorry. Oh, what we got here? Billy SBC. Now the entire offense can be totally focused on offensive line and a serious number 2 wide receiver. I'm with that. I'm with that, Billy. I think a number 2 wide receiver. I'm going to be real with this. All right, here we go. Here's my first I'm pissed off take. I want to stop labeling Garrett Wilson a number 1 wide receiver until he learns how to catch with his fucking hands. I'm tired of watching him try to catch with his body and cradle it or letting it hit his chest and it pops off the shoulder pads. You want to be elite number 1 wide receiver? Catch the goddamn ball with your hands each and every time.
Yeah, and shut the fuck up.
It's getting old now. It's been multiple weeks.
And he needs to shut the fuck up until he does something with his career. He's walking around and parading around like he's a fucking number 1 fucking Hall of Fame receiver. He's done shit. It's like, win something. Like, shut up and just be a hard worker. You're only in your 2nd year.
Yeah, just because Aaron Rodgers had a good rapport with you in July doesn't mean a goddamn thing now, dude. Oh, nah. Oh, hold on. Tor Baladas. All right, we got some answers coming in. Jets are worth a bag of you. Oh, the used range balls that are all chipped up from kids hitting it off the wood. Damn it.
Golf balls that I've already hit in New Jersey.
Matthias, what's up? What do you guys say here? Joe Douglas had many chances to bring in a QB after Rodgers went down. He failed. He didn't. Yeah, but who? Who could survive behind this line? Zach's mobility is his greatest strength. Doesn't make sense. Hey, I'm doing a show. Let me call you back at 8 o'clock when I'm done.
Yeah, but the truth is, for the last 2 weeks, Zach Wilson wasn't leaving the pocket because they coached him not to, and he wasn't getting away or doing shit. When Boyle came in, the first thing he did was, under pressure, get rid of the ball quickly and completed the pass to Garrett Wilson. Unfortunately, he's not a great quarterback, but maybe we get a quarterback in that could at least learn when you're under crazy pressure and the pocket's broken down. At least learn when you have to just get rid of the ball. Zach, for the last few weeks, he's just like a statue, and he's not getting rid of the ball. He's been as bad as a quarterback as I've ever seen the last 2 or 3 games.
Hey, Snowball. Snowball, take down my email. Or actually, I'm going to put my email in the chat. Email me, and we'll connect for Friday.
Snowball rescued me because he told me where parking lot J was.
I'm not blaming him. You were in it and couldn't find it.
I was in J and couldn't find it.
Technically, you weren't. You were on the curb out. You were on the sidewalk outside of it. You weren't even in the lot when I found you.
No, I came back out. I was in it. I walked through it for a while. I just couldn't find J9. I found every other J number.
Now this sounds like a happy Thanksgiving.
What's this?
Knobcraft says, I got my parents visiting for Thanksgiving. I'm about to flip the script on them and eat a bunch of hallucinogen mushrooms. Flip the script even more. Put the mushrooms in your gravy for the turkey. Blow the fucking roof off of this thing.
Oh my God, I'm tripping with the Brady's.
All right, Matthias, I've said this take. Maybe you've never heard it. I don't think Joe Douglas and Woody Johnson were giving up any more future assets after all the injuries happened. I think that's why you just signed Simeon off the street, and they weren't in for any trades because you already gave up a number 2 for Rodgers. I don't think they wanted to give up another pick for a quarterback and not know what was going to be. I think the plan was to ride Zach and hope. I mean, guys, we played with the Chiefs. We beat the Eagles.
Yeah,
we were showing some promise. Like we were. That's when all the injuries to the line started like coming through, and everybody started going down. But early on, when we had that good streak going and we looked good, we had the line together. You got Max Mitchell and Carter Warren, guys who were 3rd string tackles in the preseason, are fucking starting right now. Glazer looks like Glazer from Fox in studio, short little fat guy who gets thrown around by Ed Oliver and slammed to the ground like a kid.
I thought you were going to say Glazer looks like, isn't it Harrison or whatever, your friend?
Oh, Harrison Glazer?
Yeah, like he's in uniform. That's what I thought came into the game. I was like, oh, it's that dude from YouTube that's always yelling all good things about the Jets.
Billy, Cleveland has one of the best offensive lines in football. Joe Flacco has a chance to stand back there or to even mentor the kid.
Joe Flacco says shalom. Flacco says shalom.
Hey, Wild Wave, Twisted, everyone, thanks for joining.
Flacco says shalom.
I think, oh,
I mean, we'd be
let's
better.
get into this. Let's bring this up.
Reese Hall could be the quarterback. We'd be better because at least he could run away.
Twisted brings up this. I imagine they will resign Zach for a 2-year contract for little money.
No.
I think the way you heard Robert Saleh pause and say we'll address that in the offseason when asked about Zach Wilson, I believe Zach is fully done in New York, whether they have to cut or whatever they need to do. I think Zach is done.
He's never playing another down for us again.
Well, don't say that. We thought that last year, and then Mike White got drilled by Milano because he was immobile in the pocket. One thing about Zach, his mobility has prevented him from taking the big hit. Boyle can't do that. Simeon can't do that. It may be Zach Wilson back in the game by the end of Friday. Because if I'm the opposition, I am blitzing the Jets every goddamn time they're in shotgun. I'm sending everybody. I'm putting Jalen Ramsey on Garrett Wilson, and I'm putting linebackers on everyone else.
All I know is when Thomas Morstead made that pass to Eccles, I hope Zach was taking notes.
When what?
When our punter passed the ball to Eccles on the fake punt, I hope Zach was taking notes on how to throw a football.
Oh, when Morstead threw it?
Yeah.
That was a good play. That was a good play design.
Should give like tippers. He could give tips to Zach on how to throw a football to your teammate.
But Eccles was more wide open than any of our wide receivers. and the punt. You know what we should do? Put the special teams line in instead of our offensive line because that was and our shotgun should be 15 yards back. It gives us time to throw the ball. There's a lot of good things we can take off of that play.
Well, Hennessy should be our center.
Yeah, there you go. Why not? Billy, I blame Aaron Rodgers for that injury, not the line. You could say that you hate the cut block, but we've drilled this home a lot. Aaron Rodgers should have thrown the 5-yard in to Garrett Wilson. He was wide open. He looked at the rusher. Rodgers isn't used as much as experience as he has. Jesus Christ, I don't even have my good mic on. See how freaking flustered I am today? Chaos, talk for a second while I fix this.
Look, A-Rod should have known he had to throw that ball. whether he was open or not, then you throw it away. But you have to understand the play. The play was that kind of block. It means I'm going to take him down.
You hear me?
I'm going to take him down. I can hear you, but it's not through your mic. It's through your computer.
It's on the mic now.
Really? Because you sound a little distant, but okay.
Check.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Okay.
But look, that play was Rodgers' fault. The block was actually what the play that was called. The block was actually executed fine. It did what it was supposed to do. The defender was down to the ground. There was a clear view of Garrett Wilson. For some weird reason, I'll never understand, Aaron Rodgers did not throw that football. Even though Garrett Wilson was open and it was the exact play.
Yeah.
I'll never understand it, but he held on to that football and then he got hurt. If he throws that football, not only is it a complete, not only is he not injured, but he completes the pass to Garrett Wilson, and Garrett Wilson gets 6 or 7 yards, and we're rolling. So I'll never understand it.
Yeah. Hey, Snowball, I put my my email in the chat. Shoot me an email, and then we'll exchange numbers on there. So it's time to take this guy to task. And Jets fans are not going to like this. I'm fed up with Sauce Gardner's shitty, weak, hacky, smacky, spaghetti arm slaps at the ball instead of trying to make a tackle. He doesn't even punch it. He just smacks like a girl. It's weak. It's lazy. He doesn't give effort to run down the field after Shakir beats him. He could have made a goddamn play, but Sauce checked it in. Sauce is very good at coach. Sauce had his worst game as a professional yesterday.
You don't
holding in the end zone, the stupid suplex. You don't try to make a tackle and then you're going to suplex a guy, and then giving up on the Shakir play. That was Sauce's worst game.
By a mile.
And he deserves to be criticized. There's not a single player on this fucking team that is beyond criticism.
It's not only that, it's like these are the things they think they know everything and they don't. You don't go to knock a, like, look, there's two situations where you go for the ball. One is when you're desperate. And two is when one of your teammates has control of the ball carrier, meaning they're going down no matter what.
Yes.
You're an extra guy.
Yes.
People get there. I'm the second guy. I'm gonna knock that ball loose. But if I'm the first guy there,
you don't wave at him.
The ball, you make the tackle.
You can act like a man.
You can act like a man.
A man in your position cannot be made to look ridiculous. Oh, Lord. That aggravated me. Hackett again, bringing in 3 tight ends with Malik Taylor as the only wide receiver, and I'm screaming to Nicky, it's a goddamn run. He goes, maybe we'll fake it and throw it to the tight ends. I go, Hackett doesn't do smart shit, Nick. Calm down. All right, let's go through the Zach list. I can't blame Zach for Dalvin Cook not picking up a blitz. I can't blame Zach for Glazer getting thrown around by Ed Oliver. I can't blame Zach for drops by Lazard, drops by Wilson. They started blitzing us a lot. Now, what's the check when they blitz? Short routes, quick passes, because you got to get the ball off. Can't blame Zach for the interception, really. I mean, you can. But Garrett Wilson, you got to get your body in front of that guy. You can't let him jump that route. They were playing up tight. They knew we weren't going downfield. We couldn't block long enough to get routes downfield. Guys got to have a football IQ to figure shit out on the fly. You got to put your body out in front of that where now they hit you and it's a penalty. You got to go catch the ball with your hands where if they knock your arm, it's more visible. There's so many boneheaded fucking things that we do collectively from everybody. You know who I'll say had a nice game? Ruckert. Ruckert had a nice little game for him, right? He stepped up for CJ, took that spot, and I think Ruckert did okay.
We did fine.
Gibson was open on a route. Zach was under pressure. The ball sailed. He threw it too hard. It went high. Missed him. It all starts with the line. Even if we had a healthy line, we had some issues. Like guys pointed out in the Buffalo game in the beginning, Rodgers was under pressure. I think Billy said it. But you got to be able to be professionals and make adjustments and learn how to operate and function when things aren't at their peak.
Yeah.
That's what makes the great ones great, is they do it under adverse circumstances.
Yeah.
This is very good. I wanted to get into this. Oh, burnt dice. I wonder if A-Rod has realized Hackett sucks. I think he realized that when he shook his head the other night in Vegas. Or was it the Charger game or Vegas? One of the two. I forget. It's been so much suckage in a row. That's what she said.
Hey, baby.
Is this Carter Warren? Carter Warren had the worst game ever recorded after he went in. It's got it. Yeah, the left tackle was Warren. Matthias, the only way he comes in is that these other two get hurt. I think you just ride it out now. You go for the draft pick. You hope nobody else gets a season-ending injury. And you find a way to move on from Zach after the season, whether you can find a trade partner, whether you just have to flat out cut him. I think Zach Wilson's done here. And it's a shame because he was supposed to ride the bench for the next 2 years and just take, garbage time when we were up big.
You biting me for?
Yep. Wild Wave. There's another guy, Jordan Whitehead. Guy lowers his head, misses tackles, doesn't try to tackle with his arms, is out of place often. He's got to go. I'm surprised he did 46.3 positive things. I'm surprised there was a positive grade.
For who?
It's bad, man. It's so many injuries.
I didn't notice Carter Warren sucking, but I didn't really pay attention by that point. There was so
much other suckage going around. It was hard to comprehend all the suckage on the offense.
Right. The last thing I was looking at was like Warren, but you know what I mean? Because the entire
orgy of suckage yesterday. There was so much. It's like walking into a room of 50 people in a massive gangbang, and you're like, yeah, I didn't see everybody sucking, but there was a lot of sucking going on.
Well, it was. Look, it was an Adam Gase, Rich Kotite. Every bad memory we have, every bad game we've had, just all over again. It was just the worst. It was a highlight film of the worst of the Jets. That's what it was yesterday. There was nothing to celebrate, nothing to be proud. Like, it was just ugly and awful and heartless and undisciplined. And that's when you know a coach you're probably done. That's when you know a coach is probably done. When you let it get to the point where it was yesterday, where they're fighting on the field, they've lost complete control. They're fighting after the game. You got a player chasing the opponent in the heading to the locker room. That's when your coach has failed. Sad to say, but that's when your coach has failed. And the worst part about it is he's a great defensive coordinator. He's built one of the best defenses. He's done it several times in his career. He's a master at it. But there's no such thing as demoting a head coach. So he's going to have to go, and we have to hope we get, either Ulbrich stays or you get another defensive coordinator. I mean, we seem to have a lot of talented guys on defense. Hopefully, if he does go as a head coach, we'll still be able to maintain a great defense. But I don't know what the answer is because he's not a head coach. He's a great defensive coordinator, but he's not a head coach.
If anyone in New Jersey wants to join FanDuel, I just got an email. I can share my invite with you. You put in $20, you bet 10 on casino, 10 in the sports book, and we each get $150. So if you want $150 free dollars, $75 bonus in casino, $75 bonus in sportsbook in New Jersey. Let me know. We'll exchange info. But $150 free dollars to gamble with if you're interested in joining FanDuel. There's nothing wrong with that. We can become millionaires
Maybe I
together.
can create an account and then I'll have you.
You'd be New York though.
You'll sign in for me. No, I'll give you your address or whatever it is. I'll just give a New Jersey address.
I think you have to submit an ID or something.
I didn't have to for the other one.
All right, try it. Try it.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I say shalom. I can still set it up for New York, but but then you won't be able to bet for me because you're in New Jersey. Yeah, I say shalom.
Yeah, I'll look at the terms and conditions later. Oh man.
Yeah, I say shalom.
It's. I mean, let's.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the chat you guys think that we didn't cover?
Yeah.
I don't want to prognosticate too much. Is there any suckage that we didn't cover from yesterday? I don't think Saleh gets fired. I don't think Joe Douglas gets fired. I think that the Johnsons give them a pass on this season because of the injury. And I think that next year is the mandate. I think next year is it's a make or break year for everybody next year.
Yeah, I say shalom.
You know, the game started off poorly. Gibson's taking them out of the end zone all of a sudden. I guess they're trying to get the offensive spark instead of just putting them at the 25. They're trying to shorten the field. He fumbles right away. Man, Eccles barely steps out of bounds there. They get 3 points off the opening turnover. They get a touchdown off of the interception. They got 10 points free. It was 16-6 at the half. Could have been 6-6. We're not good enough to overcome all these mistakes. We're not talented enough. We're not deep enough. We're not healthy enough. It's like losing a freaking.
I mean, our defense tried to keep us in the game. Yeah, our defense tried. Opening kickoff, fumble. Defense holds us to a field goal. 1, 2, 3 and out. 1, 2, 3 and out. Like they get the ball again, holds them to a field goal. It's they held out as long as they could. But when you're never off the field, it's not like Buffalo doesn't have some big players, and any offense, if you give them a shot after shot after shot after shot, eventually they're going to break you. And then it didn't help that to add to their opportunities. Yeah, you had Sauce Gardner, and this was what really ended the game. It really was what sparked the rest of the game. Sauce Gardner doing the suplexing the offense. We were still in the game. He picked the guy up and slammed him down, and the game was over. They scored a touchdown. They got that penalty, got that yards, marched down the field, scored a touchdown, and then routed us the rest of the way. It's like it just killed anything we had when he made that play. When he picked that guy up and slammed him down, we could not afford to have had that happen. We needed to stop Buffalo from scoring. We needed to score first. We could have pulled. If we scored first in the third quarter, we would have been within a score, and it would have been a football game. And Sauce Gardner, I don't care how good he is. He doesn't get away with it. You can't make excuses for him. There was no excuse for what he did. He picked that player up. He suplexed him down to the ground, and he ended our season.
Yeah, and then I'll take my dig here. Got to hear about we draft players who love football. Why don't you draft some fucking people who can overcome adversity? Because that's what you need to play on this team. You need to be able to overcome adversity. You need to be able to fucking deal with shit and deal with life and not run to Twitter and not cry. Listen, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, your high drafted picks. You're expected to be leaders on this team as well as elite talents. Being crybaby shit bastards doesn't fucking help. Because when your superstars are bitches, everyone else is going to think they're allowed to be too. Stop being a bitch. And it takes a lot for me to get to this point. That's why I don't like getting to this point. It's because when I get to this point, I'm fucking I shoot off too much at the mouth. That's why I try to stay positive about this, because I love this hobby and I don't want to get so down on it, because I get really toxic. And I know that. That's self-assessing, right? It's knowing who you are. I don't want to get like this. I want to be positive. I want to look ahead. I want to find reasons to support this team and the players. Like, you're not perfect, dude. You don't have a reason to complain if you're going to play like that.
I want to celebrate. I want to sing songs. I want to sing. Mo Green says shalom. Mo Green says shalom. Mo Green says shalom. Like Yah says shalom.
I guess you and Twisted are on the same page, so that's something new.
What did he say?
He was going to type something that you were talking about, expect the offense too, and then I guess he put like ... chaos covered it.
Oh.
So while you were talking, that comment popped in. Yeah, Paul, sorry. My ex-girlfriend used to say that all the time. So that's one of the insults that have stuck in my head. I'm pretty good with insults myself, but that's one of the few I've taken from others. Jeremy, I got a comment on this angle that you're working with the computer here. I feel that if Pornhub was watching you while you were watching Pornhub, this is the angle that we would get. Right from the lap. There you go. And there's the sweet finish.
I have nothing to put the computer on.
Oh, looks like you do, pal. That computer was sitting nice and cozy on your lap there, pal.
There's a nice little fan. It vibrates. The computer's warm.
Hey now.
Hey now.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
It's rough, man. It's rough. Let's
Modine
being true. I vented a little bit, right? I didn't go completely off. I let the air come out a little bit, right? The pressure is down. So now that the pressure is not about to burst anymore, how do we fix it? How do we fix this?
First of all, you take Hackett, you shoot him in the head, you put him in a body bag, and you dump him in Kuka Lake. So that's the first thing, because nobody's checking Kuka Lake for no bodies. Okay, that's the first thing.
Oh, poor guy, you were there.
Oh, you were at that game. Can you imagine? Oh, because he's so far up there, Kuka Lake. He's probably not that far from Buffalo. Oof. Can you imagine what a miserable experience that must have been, being stuck up there for that crap?
Really makes a great point. His first comment was, it's totally abnormal for all these line players to be injured all the time like this. First, it was the workout program. No, Billy. First, it was my ex-wife, her cousin, Joe Giacobbe, was on the strength and conditioning staff, and they fired them to bring in sports science guys when Salah got hired. It was the first thing he did. 4 weeks after he got hired, he brought in the new coaches, and they fired the old strength and conditioning guys and said that it was their fault. There was too many injuries. They brought in these guys, sports science. We're going to be more sports science. And figuring out how to regenerate and how to do best short-term and long-term. That hasn't worked. Another bad decision. Then it was the turf. Then it was how they work out. Then it was where they work out. Then it was who they work out with. Sorry, Cuco, that you had to bring your son to that. That was his first game.
I mean, the problem is it's not the number of injuries so much for us. It's the concentration of injuries on the offensive line. It's just that it hits us so hard, and nothing could express, and nothing could signify what it means to be a Jet fan. And what this organization is. We were already the most jinxed organization. We were the biggest joke because it was so jinxed. And 4 plays into the season, after all that entire offseason, Rodgers goes out for the year. Can you believe that? That's only the Jets. I mean, it's not like that made us say we're a jinxed organization. We already were. For 40 plus years, we've been the joke of the NFL, and we've had the dark cloud on us. And then we get this ray of hope. We get freaking Hall of Fame quarterback, and he gets hurt on the 4th play. I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And every year we think it's going to change and be different. What's going to change next year? What's not? I mean, it's always something with this fucking team. Sports medicine. Remember? We weren't going to have injuries anymore. Sports medicine.
Yeah. Burnt Ice. I strongly disagree with some of this. I'm okay if Saleh gets fired. I'm not rooting for it or thinking it should happen. But I'm okay with it if this happens. Jeff Ulbrich gets the job. I do not want to change the defensive scheme. I do not want to change what we do as a defense. If you're firing Saleh, you're promoting Ulbrich. You move White Cotton or the cornerbacks, the secondary coach. You move one of them to defensive coordinator. You keep the same scheme. Nothing changes on D. And you go find another guy to run the offense. Hackett should not be untouchable. Rodgers' friend or not. And here's why. Hackett has never called plays for an Aaron Rodgers offense. LaFleur was calling the plays, and Rodgers, even though LaFleur was the head coach, had the authorization to change any goddamn play he wanted to. So let's not act like Hackett is some brilliant guy that Rodgers liked Hackett because I think he can control him. Rodgers didn't want to learn a new system at this stage of his career. So they brought in a guy who will run a system that he knows. It's the only reason he has the job. It's not like his resume is great. People say, well, he was the offensive coordinator when Aaron Rodgers won 2 MVPs. Didn't call a motherfucking play. Not one fucking play did he call. It was all LaFleur. 13-3, 13-3, 13-3, 3 straight years. LaFleur called them all. There's no reason Hackett has to be here. The only reason Hackett's here is because he runs the offense that Rodgers wants to run. Go find somebody else who knows it. Go find somebody else who's more innovative. Go find somebody else who exploits the defense and makes it advantageous for us. I will say this. I'm about 8.5 months sober. I thought falling down the stairs and losing my toe was going to be the most stressful part of my year. Man, the Jets never disappoint, huh? They always find a way to make themselves the fucking kingpin of all the shit in my life. No matter how bad things get, I'm like, all right, man, we got Aaron Rodgers. We're good. We're going to go to Super Bowl.
No.
Here we are. Here we are. Well, here's the thing, Burnt Ice. There's no guarantee unless the Jets say to a head coach, you have to keep on this defensive staff. I think most guys, if it's a first-time head coach, will be okay with that. But now we're taking a chance with another first-time head coach. If it's a veteran coach, somebody with credibility and a pedigree, they might not want the job under those circumstances. As great as this defense is, they still might want to say, I want to bring in my guy. I want to bring in my guy to do this. So there's a lot of moving parts to this. I think Ulbrich would be a great head coach because he's a guy who holds people accountable.
No.
I don't see that with Saleh. Some things can't wait for the meeting room. Some shit's got to be done on the sideline. Yeah, and I think Ulbrich takes interviews. With as toxic as this fan base is going to get, I think you see people trying to get out of here. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah. All right, Dave. Thank you for joining, bud. What if somehow Boyle and Trevor actually get a few wins? Then Jeremy and I will be on at 12 o'clock for Victory Monday. We'll get some Victory Monday show. It's been a while. Jeremy, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that when we did a Victory Monday show, my idea, the week we had a bye because the Bills and Dolphins lost, that was the beginning of the end, and that was the jinx for us?
No, I mean, I just, part of me is always waiting for it. And I'm not saying that makes it any easier when it happens. It hurts just as much. Like, part of me cannot be controlled, and it actually starts to believe maybe this could happen. And even though the brain part of me says they're fucking with you and they're going to fuck you in the ass like they always do. And it was just like, but I knew, I knew when we lost to the Chargers, I started to sense it. I said, this is falling apart because that game was so ugly. And when we lost to the Raiders, I knew it was over. And I didn't say it because I didn't want to be that guy. So I put on this whole bullshit act and blah, blah, blah. And, and I try to stay positive. And then during that Buffalo game at some point, probably the Sauce Gardner, the touchdown after he did that penalty, I finally just said, and I'm not going to hide it anymore. I'm not going to play this game anymore. This is the same old shit, Jets. And that's all it is. It's the same old Jets. People say, no, it's different. We have a great defense. It doesn't matter because football is not two different components. Football is a team sport. It's the whole team. And when you look at the whole team as a whole, we are the same. We are the same shit. As bad as we were in 2019, 2017, 2006, or 2000, or 1993, or 94, or 95, or 89, or 88. It's the same shit. That's what we are right now. And we maybe because we have a lot of talent, we could turn it around faster, but that doesn't change what we are right now. I'm not. And I don't ignore the fact that we've played 16 different offensive linemen. Like, I'm not going to pretend I don't know that and that there are reasons for it. But whatever the reasons are, whether it's bad luck, whether it's, the bad luck of injuries, whether it's the freaking health science, whether it's JD not getting the right backups, no matter what it is, at the end of the day, we suck. And that's it. And we have to live with this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's
I'm okay. Oh, sorry, I thought you were done.
No. Angel Torres, what's up, my friend?
Dave, I'm good. I'm good with this scenario that we're presenting. I'm good with Ulbrich going to head coach. I'm good with, I think White Cotton is his name, the defensive line coach, bald-headed guy who's a maniac. I don't mind him. I don't mind Tony Oden. Anyone from this staff just getting promoted and keeping, because the defensive players love these guys. So I'm okay with them keeping it in-house and just promoting from within. There's no reason these guys on the defensive side do not deserve the chance if that situation presents itself, if it gets to that.
Yeah, but if Saleh goes, Ulbrich never had this defense before. He's running Saleh's defense, let's be honest.
Yeah, but he's running it pretty goddamn well, right?
Is he going to maintain it? Does he believe in the system? Is that what he wants?
Why would you change anything though, right? If anything, you bring in maybe two guys who could stop the run instead of just one in Woods, and you get some run stuffers in. 2 of your 10 be run stuffers instead of 10 pass rushers. 9 pass rushers in Woods. Maybe you get 2. So if one goes down, it's not completely, they can run on us now. Maybe just that little change can be made.
Look, part of me would love to have, a team that once in a while blitzes more, because, a little bit more often than we do. Part of me would say that, like, maybe I would love to have a traditional fucking linebacker, that we draft that could be a superstar, like when we passed on what's his face on Dean, like maybe it would be nice to have that kind of thing to do, maybe it'd be nice to get a stud safety instead of this bullshit of trying to develop everybody. Wouldn't it be great just to have a fucking beast? Instead of trying to get a bargain at the position. These are all things that you think about, but at the same time, I can't argue with the results. The results has been very good. So if we were to lose Salah, I would just want to make sure that we hire the kind of quality coaching that, or whatever it is, if Ulbrich takes over his head, whatever it is, we just have to maintain that defense because we have to build on that. That, you know, the defense is the part of the team that we have to build around at this point. So.
Yeah. Listen, I don't think anyone gets fired. I don't, but we'll see. Harlan, thanks for joining, buddy. Yeah, a little unexpected show tonight. If Zach Wilson gave us the best chance to win all season, now you're putting in Tim Boyle. Doesn't mean you're waving the red flag on the season. I think the flag is starting to go up. It's halfway up. And I think that maybe you have to take a chance with 8 games left. It's like half a season. It's a long time. And then you don't want to lose the locker room and you don't want to lose players like you did last year. You have to do something. If you go 4 games with Boyle, 4 games with Simeon, and then you go in with Rodgers, maybe a quarterback change always invigorates a fan base and the locker room sometimes. You can't lose it.
Yeah, I would say they're giving the white flag on Zach. They're basically saying, especially when you have such horrible backups.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is we're finally accepting the fact that Zach Wilson's not an NFL quarterback. And I agree with you, Nick. I mean, if my life was on the line and someone was holding a gun to my head, Zach Wilson's the best chance we have to win in any game, as bad as he is, because at least he has mobility and he has more talent than Boyle.
He has the most skill of any quarterback we have.
Right. Without question.
Sad, though. That's a
very low bar.
Different conversation, right? How sad it is a different conversation.
Right.
But
it's true.
Zach Wilson's legs have saved probably at least 2 sacks a game. As much as he's been sacked, and you could say he holds the ball too long, but guys aren't getting open. Pressure's in his face. Can't escape up the middle. We don't see many 4-man rushes. They're sending extra guys. Someone's getting there. And he's like a miracle worker at times getting out of the pocket. Why wouldn't you use that to your advantage, though? Why wouldn't you design plays with his mobility where he's got a run-pass option? Stop letting him scramble for his life and design it so that he could succeed. I don't fucking get it.
But that being said, we could have signed Josh Johnson and it would have been better. You know, like we're in this position because of Joe Douglas. There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse to be in a position where you lose your starting quarterback week 1, and on November 20th, your best backup quarterback is Boyle. There's no excuse. There's no excuse.
But I don't think they were going and getting anyone. I don't think they were going out and saying, we're going to give up draft picks. We're going to give up more draft picks for a quarterback rental. Because you have to factor this in. Any quarterback you go trade for needed to be on a 1-year deal. So that limits the guys you can get. Now the draft compensation limits the guys you can get. Carson Wentz has been fucking despised by every locker room he's ever been in, by coaches and players, because he is an arrogant prick.
It's better than fucking Boyle.
I disagree. I think you got to bring in someone who fits the group. And I don't think Carson Wentz... Listen, Joe Douglas was in Philly. That locker room was so happy when they had Foles because they loved the guy and they rallied around him because he wasn't Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz alienated himself from the players.
Josh Johnson. Joe Flacco. I know everybody hates Joe Flacco. It's better than Zach Wilson. I'm sorry, he is. Zach Wilson is so bad.
Yeah.
He's so bad.
Yeah.
He can't. I mean, he's so bad. I know he threw.
And United, welcome back, buddy. I hope you're feeling well, man.
I know that Zach Wilson once in a while, or not even, I know Zach Wilson will turn around. He'll make amazing throws. He'll have amazing plays. But 50% of his throws are way off target. 50%. So even with his great plays, at most, he's a 50% completion guy or 50 to 55% completion guy. He's not an NFL quarterback. It's sad. It sucks because, it would be nice if you could take the best If you could take the best of Zach Wilson, if you could take those best plays and make that consistent, and that's who he was, he'd be a superstar. He would. He can't be, though. He's not consistent. It's like a terrible joke on us. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Zach Wilson went somewhere else, somehow got an opportunity, and somehow magically figured it all out. Was great, because it's just our luck.
I would love to see him play one time behind an elite NFL line. Just once. Like I want to see what he could do with like an NFL offense. With an NFL coach. Not somebody who's responsible for two of the worst offenses ever when he had the reins put in his hands.
Yeah.
I'm okay with Middleton. Somebody, I think, burnt dice. I think you mentioned Middleton. I'm okay with him as a head coach. I don't know about offensive coordinator. I don't know if he's got any history with that, but I'm okay with him as a leader. You know, if you want to promote him to head coach. Here's a question for the chat. If anyone, the NFL has rules about you get a compensation pick if you have an assistant coach who is a minority promoted and hired as a head coach. Does that include your own team? So say Middleton, for example, goes from tight ends coach to head coach. Would we be able to get, right? Because we promoted a minority to head coach. We took him from our staff. I wonder if we would get the compensation pick, the third round pick, for promoting Middleton to head coach. Right? Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? The job, the compensation is about giving minorities other chances as head coach. If you promote your own guy, why should you not get the pick?
I love Middleton.
Love him. That Senior Bowl was amazing. All the clips, all the shorts that came out with him.
I love him.
Everybody want to get to heaven. Ain't nobody want to die.
If something moves, hit it. If it moves again, hit it again.
All right. It's almost 8 o'clock. You had to go?
Yeah. Modine says shalom. Modine says shalom. Modine says shalom. Hey, Modine says shalom.
Players and coaches have changed. I don't know, Mo. He's been here since early 2000, 2002. He signed my belly at the 2002 Colts playoff game, and Woody Johnson got me a beer out of my cooler that had Britney Spears stickers all over it. So I'm a fan of Woody. He signed a 24-year-old growing beer belly. So I was like, hey, can you get me a beer? He's like, you guys having fun time? Like, well, we're going to win this game today. He's like, what can I do for you guys? I was like, you get me a beer out of my cooler, bitch. And he is this your cooler? And Woody went and grabbed the beer, got me he's like, anything else? I was like, sign my stomach. And I pulled my shirt up and he had a Sharpie and he signed my stomach.
That's amazing.
That was my interaction with Woody Johnson. I would love to know if he remembers that, because that can't be something that a billionaire has done very often, signing some young drunk idiot's stomach. Like, if I ever get the chance to talk to Woody again, I would be like, do you remember this?
You always make it memorable. Joe Namath. Like, you always make it memorable for them. Like, you spin it and make it memorable for them. It's like, knowing you, if you really would have pushed it, you would have ended up spending 3 hours in a hotel room with Joe Namath watching a Jet game.
Yeah, I was just so... I guess I would have been safe. I was an adult and not a child with that story coming out, which we didn't even touch upon. Holy yikes. Now I know why in 1986 I met him. He took to me so well. I was 8. Yeah, who needs a Super Bowl? When the owner gets you a beer out of your sticker, remember at bowling alleys, I was in a bowling league and they had a machine you'd put quarters in and then like the cardboard would come out and have like 3 stickers in it. I got Britney Spears And everyone laughed. They're like, what are you going to do with that? I'm like, I'm putting it on the cooler. I put Britney Spears stickers. I had Britney Spears and Jet stickers on the cooler. And Woody Johnson opened it up. One of the hinges was broken. Like he almost broke the other one off when he let it go. And he got me a Miller Lite out of there. And I'll never forget that. Great interaction with the billionaire.
Love it.
So I want to thank everyone for joining. I want to thank Chaos for hanging out, giving his insight, giving his knowledge and wisdom to the show.
What about my excellent singing voice?
Yes. Go ahead.
So
What is your
I gave that to the show also. Oh, you don't think I sung enough?
No, I was staying quiet. I didn't know if you were going to break out into another tune. Inquiring minds want to know. Are we good Wednesday night, 8:00?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, the holiday's Thursday. I don't know. I'm good.
We're gonna be the last show on the last Jets content show on YouTube before the Thanksgiving holiday.
All right. Thanksgiving Bonanza on Jets Chaos, 8:00 Wednesday night. If it gets nuts, we got a big crowd. We'll stay on longer. We'll give you 2 hours of our time. You give us 2 hours of yours, and if the chat is loaded, we'll stay on longer, right?
Yeah, I might eat a bowl of stuffing.
Raul Havana, new name to the chat here, man. Thank you for coming. If you're not new, I appreciate your subscription. And if you are new, please subscribe. Got a lot of content coming out. A lot of shorts are going up, guys. For those of you who follow already, I'm pushing out a couple shorts. I got to get my watch hours up. I'm at 450 subs. At 500, I'm eligible to monetize with super chats and the memberships. But I got to get like 1,100 more viewing hours. So a lot of content coming out. You know, watch all the videos. If you want to be super helpful, just play one of the 2-hour videos before you go to bed. Put it on mute and let that time run up for me. I'll talk to you guys soon. Keep your heads up. Remember, we're Jets fans. It's almost time for mock draft season. That's the season we're always successful at.
It's the best.
Chaos, you got anything in closing?
Yeah. Well, look, we'll be back Wednesday night. We'll it sucks right now. Being a Jet fan sucks, but we'll have fun because that's the thing. Me and Nick are more prepared than any other Jets YouTube channel because they're used to talking about the Jets and what happens when the Jets completely suck and there's nothing to talk about anymore. They got nothing. We have us. I mean, we still are us. You still get to watch us bicker with each other, insult each other. You still get to party with us because no one knows how to hang out and have fun like we do.
Raul, you and I just became best friends with a comment like this. You were on the right channel. Calling Zach Good is like calling Jeffrey Epstein a trustworthy babysitter. Raul, welcome to the channel, my friend. You fit in perfectly.
Raul, I love it.
That's how you join a show. You kick in the door like that. Welcome, buddy.
And I love the last name because my favorite kind of sangria at this one restaurant in the city used to be Havana Banana. It was like a play on words. Like I want a banana, Havana Banana.
Nice. Twisted. My tailgate's having a pig roast Friday. I'm not going to the game, but me and my son and one of my buddies got a parking pass. We're going up K5. You know where I'm at. We're doing a pig roast, lamb chops. There's a nacho tower with cheese and pulled pork on it that they heat and melt with the propane torch. They take the propane thing and he's got a torch hooked up to it. That's how they get the briquettes going for the pig roast. And that's how they melt the cheese. So it's $20 a head, all you can eat. If you don't have any plans for your tailgate, you're more than welcome to come by. Just text me and let me know so I can give this guy a number. He needs a number by today's Monday. He needs a number by tomorrow on how many people are coming so they can bring the right amount of food. So if you and your son are interested, let me know, buddy. Everyone else, we will see you Wednesday night on Jets Chaos channel. Until then, do your best. Find a way Take a machete, chop your way through the woods, whatever you have to do. Find a way to be loud and proud New York Jets fans. Good night. Thanks for watching. Jeremy sucks.
This is producer JR, and you are watching the Proud New York Jets Fan Show. Now give it up for my boy Nick.
Rodgers is a
Nick,
fucking Jet. Let's go.
This for my though, special delivery. Spit like this, get my wrist all glittery.
Can't wait.
Get cake, snakes get slithery. Lean in, show y'all the mean in the chivalry.
Let's make sure we
Rap
play like the
Buddha.
New York Jets.
Right jab like Zab Judah. Every member on my team is a shooter. Tight like a womb, no room for intruders. Spark, twist to the
Now,
Philly.
give it
And
up
good
for
humor.
Nick
Don't
Shaw.
be silly, it's baby.